Today's episode is part one of the Big Law Lie Masterclass. We've all seen it on TV, we've heard it in law school, we've even seen some other attorneys bragging about it, and we really glamorize big law as if being Harvey Specter or Jessica Pearson is the only way to practice law. We've seen on TV, if you like me, you like Suits. And you've seen how they walk around with these $2,500, $5,000 suits, and they get in their fancy cars, and they're hardly ever actually doing work either on a computer or any type of research. And then they go to another attorney's office with this blue folder, and there's one piece of paper in it, and they slam it on the desk, and next thing you know, the case is settled. What you don't see is the time and the effort and the hours that went into creating that one page. You know who's doing that? The associate attorneys. There is a bullpen of attorneys that are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week to create the information that goes into that one piece of paper, that goes into that one blue folder to settle the case. We also see that them glamorize settling multi-million-dollar cases every day of the week, as if that is just a normal thing for practice, a normal thing to be done. Again, you have to focus on the associate attorneys, how much time is being put in there. What you also are not seeing is associate attorneys learning how to create a business, how to own a business, how to market, how to leverage your network. You're not seeing that, but I am going to show you how to do that. So welcome to the Attorney Cheat Code Podcast. My name is Alicia Jones. I am a Texas-based attorney. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you've been here before, then welcome back. Thank you so much for the support. Today, we're going behind the curtain. We're going to look at big law. And I don't want to just focus on big law because there's big, there's medium, there's boutique, there's solo, whatever the case is, wherever the firm is. If you are not operating in the way that is fulfilling for you, then you may not be in the right place. So do you really think that the associate attorneys are learning how to market when they're in those big firms? Do you really think that they're learning how to hire staff or how to network with intentionality? They're absolutely not. They are inundated with casework because that is what is required of you. That is what you've been hired for, is to work the cases. So if it is your heart's desire and your calling and your purpose to have your own, then you have to start building it. It's up to you. So let's talk about high functioning burnout. When we think about high functioning burnout, like I said, it's not just the big firms. With big firms, you might be required to bill 2,000, 2,200, 2,500 hours a year. And so, of course, after you've done all of your billables, then you're probably tired. You're also not likely to be giving continual legal education in firm ownership because you don't have time for that. You need to learn more about your practice area. Your firm is likely going to want you to go to a continuing legal education, CLE, that is going to teach you more about the practice area that you're already in. They're probably not, and I'm saying probably, but either you don't have time or they're really not focused on you creating your own. That's not why you were hired. So when you're thinking about high functioning, yes, you're billing all of the hours and then it leads to burnout. Even with a mid-size or boutique firm, you may have the case where you are so inundated with cases that you're back and forth to court, that you're in court every single day of the week. I lived that life when I was beginning my practice because I was growing it. I wanted to build it up. I had to find the clients. I was getting court appointments. But if I am in court 5 days a week, you know what I'm not doing? I'm not focusing on my marketing. I'm not building my systems. I'm not even speaking to potential clients because I am in court. I'm in front of a judge. I may be speaking to other attorneys, but I am not able to really parse out my week and parse out my days so that I can focus on the future of my firm. But I don't want you to fall for the high functioning burnout. But you know what goes right along with that high functioning burnout is the politics and the glass ceiling. When we think about that, the politics are often just as invisible as that glass ceiling. You have some internal politics with the office that sometimes you can't even explain it, right? Especially once you add in your race. or maybe your gender, or maybe your marital status. If you're a newlywed and you really enjoy the work that you do, you enjoy the firm, but you really want to spend time with your loved one, now you're having to consider, do I now put some more time in at work so that I can proceed with the advancement? And then what does that advancement look like? Or do I slow my track down so I can spend more time with my new spouse? What if you are caring for aging parents? My age group of individuals, and I'm not going to say my age, but our age group, we have parents that are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s at this point, and we need to make sure that they're taken care of. So if I want to have time to spend some quality time with my parents, and especially if they don't live in the same state as me, now I have to consider, how hard can I grind? How many hours can I do? If I'm meeting my billable, my 2,000, 2,200 hours per year, and then I want to put in some time each week to work on my firm so that I can create the life of my dreams, but I'm also taking care of young children, or I'm also taking care of my parents, or I'm also a newlywed, or I'm also trying to get pregnant. There's so many variations, which is why creating your firm is what is best for you, because only you know what you need, and only you are going to create that structure. A big firm, a medium firm, a boutique firm, a solo firm, they are not there for you and for your personal life. You are there to fulfill a job and to do your job duties and to do them well. And I want you to continue to do them well. But while you do that, you have to consider, how much is this taken away from me? How far behind is this putting me if I don't launch today? If I don't go ahead and make the decision, if I don't go ahead and set aside the time, then not how far behind am I on anybody else's schedule, but for you, are you holding yourself back because of the politics that you're falling for, because you're unable to get past the fear of launching? And then we want to talk about the gap, right? So a firm teaches you how to win cases, but not how to win clients. It teaches you how to draft documents, but not how to build infrastructure. It teaches you legal knowledge, but not business skills. There are very few firms that I've even heard of that will pour into their associate attorneys and know with the knowledge that they're going to take they're going to hang out their own shingle, or they're going to take that knowledge and go out on their own. I may have heard of one or two in all of my time that the attorney knew and they were okay with it. It was an agreement that they had, and they worked together to make that happen for them. But that is not the case. Well, especially if you're in a big firm, the partners, do they have time to do that for you? Is that their desire? Is that what's best for the big firm, to devote however many hours to making sure that their associates can go out on their own? Probably not. So when we consider all of these things, then it can be terrifying to think about going out on your own. But let me tell you, it is possible. And because you're here with the Attorney Cheat Code podcast, that means that you believe in yourself, even just a little bit. You believe that you are supposed to be a firm owner. So let me give you the cheat code. It's a 4-part cheat code. So first is freedom folder. If you are feeling silenced, if you are feeling rejected, if you're feeling drained or limited by the position that you're in, the first thing you want to do is create a freedom folder. It can be digital. You can print it out, whatever works for you. I want you to think of it like your own Pinterest board where you're able to put your own business ideas. Maybe you have visited another attorney's office and you like the structure. Maybe the way they answer their phones is the way that you would want your office phones to be answered. Maybe the way they reply to their emails. Maybe you've created templates or checklists based upon the work that you do, and you know that that is going to help you moving forward. Maybe you've seen some pricing structures, or maybe you've created your own pricing structures based upon what you've seen. With a big firm, maybe that partner is billing out at $800 an hour. And for you, you know that you don't want to bill that higher. You don't have the years of experience to support that. So you're looking at, how are you going to create your own fee structure? What does your pricing plan look like? You want to start to put those things together in your freedom folder. And yes, it is a freedom folder, because you're going to use these tools. You're building your tool belt, you're building your tool chest, so that when you're ready to launch, you already have these ideas and things centrally located, so it's easier for you and it takes away some of that fear. The other thing I want you to do, number 2, is to audit your skills gap. I want you to create a list. Think about the skills that maybe you thought you were going to learn at the firm, but you actually don't. Or the skills that you believe you need to run a business successfully and you don't yet have those. Create the list. But the next thing before you start to learn all of these skills is write down where and how it's necessary for your firm. How will understanding this skill, how will having this ability help you for the firm? How is it going to directly, positively impact your firm? Sometimes we can think that we need a certain skill set or we need to be able to do a certain thing and we actually don't. So we're putting barriers in front of us that are not even necessary to create what? The law firm and ultimately the life of our dreams. So don't just audit and say, oh, I need to learn all of these things and I need to be an Excel spreadsheet expert. For what? Right? Why do you need to do that? Is it something that is necessary for your firm? Are there templates that you can get? Is there a person that you can hire to create the templates? Is there an Excel expert that you can hire to do all of the Excel things for the firm? Make sure that when you're building that out and you're looking at the gaps and the skill sets that you need, that you're also tying it in with the firm and how it's going to be immediately profitable for you and for your firm. The next thing, number 3, is to track your time. I want you to look at just a week. Go from Monday to Friday. Hopefully you're not working on Saturday and Sunday, but I want you to track your time during the week. We're going to look at each of those days as an investment. Remember, this is your investment portfolio. How are you spending your time? Where are you devoting your time? And how are you spending your discretionary time? So I think it was Myron Golden that was saying that you don't necessarily have free time, but you have discretionary time, which means that you have not obligated yourself to be in a certain place or with a certain person or to do a certain thing at that time. For instance, I have young kids. So for me, my discretionary time does not even come close to beginning until both of those kids are asleep. When they are asleep, now I have discretionary time for me and my husband. And now, are we washing dishes? Are we washing clothes? Are we spending time together? Are we talking about the plan and the vision of our family? Are we sitting on the couch watching TV? Are we trying to get some extra sleep? Whatever it is, we each have a certain number of hours of discretionary time each day. How are you spending yours? Are you spending it on social media looking at someone else live their life? Is that what you're doing? Or are you out at happy hours and not talking about your business, not building your brand, not growing your network? Are you out just kicking it? And let me tell you, I like to kick it. Kicking it is important. Having friendships is important. In the season of growing and building your firm, let's make some of those more purposeful. Maybe instead of going to a happy hour 3 or 4 times a week with your homegirls, let's switch out 1 or 2 of those and let's go to a happy hour. Let's invite some other business people, maybe in the area of practice that you want to go into. Maybe you're looking for a mentor. Let's have dinner with a person so that you can see if you guys vibe, if they're open to that. And now you can have that good conversation and start to build from there versus kicking it. Kicking it is great. I'm telling you, kicking it is great and it's necessary. And you need to divide that time in a way that helps you create the firm and the life of your dreams. So who and what are you investing your time in? I'm not even going to touch relationships. I hope that they are well. I hope that they are positive, and I hope that they are building you up. If they are not, you might want to consider pivoting the way you interact with certain people because you have somewhere to get to. You have a vision, you have a plan. And like I always say, you have a community of people that are waiting for you. They're waiting to receive your work in the way that you do it. Yes, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of other attorneys that practice in that area, but none of them will practice in the way that you do. None of them have your community. None of them will serve your community in the way that you will. So make sure that you are parsing your time and you're being very clear about how you're spending your time. If you track that in a week, maybe a 2-week span, you're going to easily be able to see, where am I devoting too much time? At this point with social media, we can set timers of how long am I on here scrolling aimlessly? How many TV shows am I watching that are not helping me? How much extra sleep am I getting? So yes, get your recommended hours of sleep, but do you need 12 hours of sleep each night? Do you? Maybe you do, and maybe you're okay with that. Again, if you want to build, then be serious about it. Make the sacrifice now so that you can lay on a hammock on the beach in the next couple of years because your firm is running itself and your people are in place, you have your systems in place, and now you're able to relax and enjoy the life of your dreams. Now, last but not least, number 4 is to make sure that you have your first offer ready. If someone were to walk up to you tomorrow and say, here's the money for what you do you know what you do? Do you know how much it costs for you to do what you want to do? If someone were to walk up to you, could you give them a client agreement and say, great, let's get you signed up. I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? This is what I need from you. This is how I'm going to deliver the service that you've paid me for. Make sure that you have your first offer ready and the price of that first offer. You really need to have your fee structure because you don't want to get emotionally tied with clients when they call and they give you, and I hate to say it, but they give you sob stories about how things are going on. And what you really need to be hearing is, can they afford to pay for the services that I want to offer them? Or am I willing to finance this client's case because I believe in it so very much? And if you are like me, you are not financing clients' cases because you believe in them so very much. You want to help, but unless it is a pro bono matter or a contingency matter, they're going to need to put up some type of financial investment to make sure that they can afford your services. But you want to already know before you even talk to them, how much does it cost? How much do I need up front? How often will they have to replenish their retainer? Will they have to replenish their retainer? Go ahead and work on those things now, especially if you're already working in a firm. And even if it's your firm, if you're solo, you're in a boutique firm, whatever it is, take some time to work on these things. Identify that discretionary time that you have each week and start to plug in what you're going to work on and when. Your challenge for this week is also 4-part. We don't have a download that you necessarily need. It is about you. This is a week of reflection. I want you to take the next 7 days as you are tracking time. I want you to think about, and what did I think I was going to learn by working for someone else? What was I hoping to gain by learning from someone else or by working in someone else's firm, by attaching my name, my bar number, my time to someone else's firm? What was I hoping to learn? And what have I actually learned? Where is that gap? And that might not just be business skills. Maybe that's something else that you were hoping to see or hoping to learn. One of the things that I did some contract work for an attorney, and I wanted to learn how to do intake calls. I wanted to know how she was converting the clients, but I actually never saw that. And I didn't speak up about it. I ended up just starting my own firm and learning trial by fire. But if you're already at a firm and you have a mentor there or a supervisor that you know that you can go to and start to learn a certain skill set, then you may want to approach them and ask that. Otherwise, you may have a mentor outside of the firm that you can speak to and say, hey, I was looking at my skill set. I'm planning to launch in such and such months for my own firm in this particular practice area. Would you mind sitting with me, or would you mind allowing me to sit in on a client intake? Would you allow me to do some drafting for you so you can give me some really good feedback, some one-on-one feedback about how I'm drafting? That is very important, whether you're going into a new area of law or staying in the same one. One, you have the connection, and 2, you have a mentor. So the first thing, you want to really create the list. What did I think I was going to learn? What was I hoping to gain by working for someone else? And what did I actually learn? Or what did I not learn? What did I not get from this firm? Number 2 is one skill that you learned on your own. Clap it up for you. Because you are brilliant. You really are. You've made it through law school. You've made it through the bar exam. You have your bar card, or maybe you're headed there. Maybe you're waiting for results right now, but wait for results with anticipation of good news. So when those results come out, you are ready. That next day you get sworn in. Next day you are ready to go. Somebody hands you that money. You already know what your offer is. You already know how much it costs. And for you, think about what skill that have you learned, and you learned it on your own, and track that. Write that out. How did I learn it? How is this going to be helpful for me in my firm? How will it help my firm grow? Is this a skill that is necessary? Just because you learn it doesn't mean it's necessary, but is it a skill that's necessary and that can help me on the path moving forward? Is this a skill that maybe I can teach someone else? Is it, yeah, you could be new and you can still help someone else. So this skill that I have, can I now help my friend or my colleague because I see that they may need this skill? I may not necessarily, but it's something that I learned on my own. Now I can teach it to others. Now I can help others with that. And then number 3 is ownership. What does ownership really look like and feel like for you? Take some time and journal that. Write it out. Again, this is for you. This is time of reflection. What does true ownership look like for you? Does it look like an 80-hour week grind? Does it look like a 4-hour work week? That is up to you to decide. Now is the time for you to decide that. So take a moment and have reflection. And you may want to take a few days. That initial day, maybe your dreams, your head, your mind is all over the place. And come back to it again. Now, what does it really look like? And come back to it again. Now, what does it really look like? And filter down. So you start really big. And what does that look like? Okay, now let me filter down. Now, what does it look like to do that? What does it look like to work a 4-hour work week? What does it look like to work an 80-hour work week? What does it look like to go into this practice area? What does it look like to step out of this practice area? That's number 3. And then number 4 is really, really important, is to identify what limiting beliefs are holding you back from launching and building your own firm. And be honest and candid with yourself. This is between you and you. So be honest with yourself. What limiting beliefs, what fears, what anxiety, what worry do I have? And of course, once you create that list, is why. What is that rooted in? What is that tied to? Did someone tell you back in the day that you were never going to be anything and you're still holding on to that? Do you have imposter syndrome where you feel like, yes, I know the things, but I don't know if I know it that well? Are you comparing yourself to someone else's finished story while you're in the making? Are you looking at social media and how people have made their lives seem so amazing, and you're looking at the finished product and you're just getting started, and now you're comparing the two? What limiting beliefs about you, what limiting beliefs about your skill set are you holding on to, and that is stopping you from building, that's stopping you from actually launching? You don't need a big law firm. You don't need a medium law firm. You don't need a boutique law firm to qualify you. You are qualified because you're here. You're qualified because in your heart you know that you are a firm owner. You're qualified because there is a community of people waiting to receive the services that you offer in the way that you will offer them and no one else. I truly hope that this has been helpful for you. Do not fall for the big firm lie. We need you. You are necessary. And I want to hear about it as always. Maybe I'm nosy, maybe not, but send me a message. Let me know if this has been helpful for you. Let me know how your time of reflection has gone, and let's discuss it. Let's start a discussion about it. Of course, my name is Alicia Jones, and I am so glad that you are here, that you spent this time with me today on the Attorney Cheat Code podcast. Until next time.